I took one trade today. Exactly one. If I started here from today's low, or yesterday's low, pre-market, to this data print from pre-market today, what did it do? Bounced off the 50 very convincingly. Back up to pre-market low, which is one of my levels, prior day close. As soon as it reclaimed that, that would have been the entry. These are all, there are a couple of plays actually that I had marked out ahead of time that I didn't end up taking for various reasons. I didn't take this one because this happened too early in the day for me to be comfortable. I'm still not comfortable trading QQQ that early. Then there was one of my employees had a medical incident at work this morning, right around here, which took up this whole block of time. And I was going to call it quits when I saw this, sort of doing this gobbledygook here. It's just going to consolidate. And I wanted it to come back down and bounce pre-market low, which it didn't do. So I'm not even going to call it a plan B. One of my other go-tos here is bounce off VWAP after it gets extended. Especially when it starts doing this and sort of consolidating, lets VWAP come up to it. I was watching it in here. Then if it came back down here, bounce 396, somewhere around here, I was going to go in on calls. But what ended up happening was I was watching this and I saw a bit of a high up here. Titched 3 times, came down here off the 21. I actually entered calls here. I'm not saying this was my highest probability setup, but it wasn't exactly a low probability setup either. No, it really was not a low probability setup. So on its way up, this was kind of my stop limit here. If it closed down below this 396, about 396.70, somewhere in here, if it closed down around here, I was going to be out there until I saw this guy, this engulfing here. That was my get out. And what did it do? It came back to VWAP. So this is another instance of patience. Was the move for today. And really, I was in 398s too. I had gotten further out of the money because I saw where the potential was, but it didn't follow through right when I'd wanted to, so it would have stopped me out anyway based on a break even. I did get a trim off before it did this though. But look at that. It ended up breaking 398, so my analysis is good. It's still my execution and patience. That's what got me today. It's not that was even a bad trade, but it was so sideways for so long, and then I got that bump up that I was looking for, and it was just, I was in it longer than I really kind of wanted to be. I was in that, but that's just it. I was in it longer than I wanted to be because it didn't move as fast, and I didn't see enough consistent green. Like even this would have been. I hate these stairways too. I get really nervous and anxious around this. It makes me sweat. It makes my balls itch. It's like I like this. I like these. I like these big candles because I like to get out. I like to get trims off. I like to set a stop and kind of let it go up. And if this is what it does, this is what it does. This, in order to keep with my system, it moves my stop up a little bit on every single one of these candles because I don't want to see it dip all the way back down to red. I mean, if it makes a 50-cent move and comes back down here in half an hour, it just pisses me off. It's like Chutes and Ladders. You land on the ladder. That's what that does. Yeah, that's that here. Yes, I'm equating trading mindset to a children's board game because it's relatable in my head. And I know that feeling of hitting the wrong spot and going, yeah, I just had to not do this. And that's the mentality that I keep fighting with. It's all I had to do was not this. I just had to not do the thing that I was looking at. I honestly wasn't expecting this dip down here either, because I was watching it. I wrote notes down to myself as I was watching this setup. 5 minute, looked like it still wanted upside. Diverging 8 and 21. Exponential moving averages. Higher lows. Higher highs. A little bit of consolidation period. And then, okay, so a little bit of red volume was bothersome, but it still didn't close below the 8, which was my stop. Came back down, kissed the 21 again. Still didn't make a new low. And then it came up, but it came up on low volume. And then this guy here. I mean, I broke this down into 2 and 1 minute, and the greens were the ones with volume in this area. It wasn't this. Just because it closed red was not what the smaller time frame was showing me, which is why I held this level as my stop, because at least then I'd still have been in profit instead of letting it come, all the way back down to here and watching a big slide back down Chutes and Ladders style, and watching my 60-70%er go down to red. But this is what happens in this game. And that was a little bit taxing. And honestly, at this point, I was expecting it to trace back down to pre-market low, so I wasn't even watching this level at this point. So that's a note for myself for tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be FOMC. I'm going to do a little bit different strategy tomorrow. I'm saving my horsepower till the afternoon. So things like this might happen, but I've got an FOMC strategy I'm going to implement tomorrow if it confirms. So it'll be afternoon scalps, 0 DTEs. It's going to move quick. I just do what I've been doing. I also committed myself finally to this account. I'm going to keep it under $200 until I get this mental block past me of protecting my downside, because any mistake, I'm basically full porting every one of these positions because of the size of the account. Any screw up on risk management, I know that I cannot afford to deal with, because it will blow the account, and I am not refunding it this year. So if I want to stay in the game, I have to protect the downside, and that's just how I'm going to try to force myself into doing it. If it gets over $200, I'm gonna make withdrawals just to keep it there, and I'm just gonna keep full porting at one play. Just on one play, and just watch the risk. That'll keep me from taking poor ones or sketchy ones. This wasn't even bad. It was the time period. It was because it was right around here, 11 o'clock, where everything was slow and low volume. And when you're out of the money, you get theta chops the contracts up. And I already know that. So, advice for tomorrow: patience. Wait till Powell. That's it.